Little Nitro.
Stacked.
If James lost, he'd have to eat a dub.
I'm not doing that. Did you see that clip of Deion Sanders?
You don't call Nick Saban Nick. Don't call me Deion.
Let me put some respect on his name. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. It is the 22nd of August. It is finally the first week of college football, high school football, and the final week of the NFL preseason. I am stoked. It is official. The football season is upon us. Producer James in the building. The man in the DF dub, the Arkansas devote, the cowboy, I guess, apologist right now, because you really can't ever give straight love for the Cowboys. This weekend was a big time for them. I'm excited to see how they got some TCU love. We'll get into that mix again. He's already rolling his eyes. The man's in the DF dub, avoiding the major floods in the DF dub, ladies and gentlemen, West Washington.
What up, bro? What up, man? Who get excited about preseason games?
I do, Jack. I love the preseason because it tells me who I'm going to be finding sleepers in. I found two already. 2 sleepers for my Dynasty League. And if you boys out there watching, y'all know the transactions. Look at the waiver wire. Y'all see who I've been picking up. But in the meantime, Wes, are you okay out there, man? We have flooding here in the Austin area, massive flooding in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Are you okay? Do you need an inner tube, my friend?
No, I'm good. I live. I don't live in. It was mainly like downtown Dallas. I think 635 or something like that. I'm up in the north.
He in that Chandelier Palace areas is what he's trying to say.
No.
Yes.
There's in here. But nah, yeah. Everybody been begging for rain, man. They got it. So
Yeah.
You got to deal with it. That's what you wanted.
No.
But yeah, I had a friend downtown Dallas. I think his furniture floated away on his back patio.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Man,
They were saying it was flooding down there. It was bad. It was a lot of road closures and things like that.
James did send a picture this morning or a post from the FB about how it literally looked like vehicles were underwater. And then they showed today, this afternoon, on the local local Austin news, how, everybody calls Lady Bird Lake a lake. It's not. It's a river. And this thing is just like, I'm sure they had to open up the floodgates because there's like certain floodplains they have to open up to manage the level of the river. And man, that bad boy was gushing right underneath Congress and all the bridges going all the way to Pleasant Valley. But man, it was
Town Lake.
It's not Town Lake. It's a river. But yes,
I wanted to accompany that picture with a caption. Wes, you all right? I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Couldn't do it. We knew he was in that Chandelier Palace. That's why we don't have to worry about.
I was hoping. Get the hint. Like, hey, here's a picture. I'm not gonna throw it out there for nothing because it's like Dallas is all underwater.
Well, he's rode on 22, so he ain't got to really worry about that now. And he's got that lifted truck, so he's all right.
He'd be out there like Michael Phelps saving people.
Remember a few years ago? This was like before Katrina, not before Katrina, but before Harvey. Remember when folks in San Antonio, they had those like 30-inch rims, them dudes like on the south side, and they're just like cruising through the water. It's just like most cars couldn't do that. But I mean, if you got 30-inch rims.
That was McGregor Mayweather weekend.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
You would put that correlation together.
I drove to my aunt's and I guess in a hurricane, or it was like,
oh my bad.
the outer bands or whatever you call it.
Were you playing Scorpion on the way over there? Rocking like a hurricane?
Here I am.
Yeah, so I'm just talking about it. Let's get the UFC news out of the way. Big knockout this past weekend. Marty pulled a Marty in UFC 278.
Yes.
UFC 278. That means UFC 279. September 10th, Chimaev versus Diaz is going to be a huge bout. That'll be next weekend. You can spend all your money on that too. But yeah, this past weekend, Leon Edwards head kick in the fifth round, 4th second. Nearly the fight was over, right?
It's like a minute 15 seconds.
Marty had him on the cards.
Yeah.
When I say Marty, I meant Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, for sure. Respect. He had it put away.
He had it in the bag.
Yeah.
And then just that right feint with that left head kick. Nasty.
Nasty.
If you haven't seen it on the highlights, go do a Google search. In a break, Wes, we'll show you what it looks like just so you kind of have some correlation.
No, I saw it.
You did see it. Okay, so
was
just vicious.
highlights.
So what did you have to say, James? James, our resident UFC
Yeah.
MMA guru.
So it was an overall pretty good card. The 3 fights I was looking forward to: Jose Aldo and I forgot the name of the guy.
Paulo Rockhold.
Yeah, Rockhold and Paulo Costa.
Mm-hmm.
So Luke Rockhold, I was like, he's gonna lose. He's got a glass jaw. Like I felt like he lost it. And he went out there and totally gained my respect. The guy was exhausted at the end of the second fight. He couldn't even walk back to his corner. I was like, oh, like I can't even remember the last time that I seen a guy this exhausted in the octagon. He had his hands on his knees. Like his corner had to go pull him up and like bring him on over. And I was like, dude, like he's not gonna make it. And he goes out there and he could like barely even walk. And he pulled through.
Gutted it out.
Yeah, he did. Like, and he was still like, there was like flashes, like he would throw a head kick, or he would throw at one point. He told Paulo Costa, he was like, "Fuck you." He told him twice, and then he just comes with just like a punch out of nowhere and lands it right on his chin. I was hoping that he would put him out, but you know, the guy depleted that much, doesn't have that much left. But
speaking of Rockhold, I don't know if you caught this, but in the post-fight interview, he was talking like mad-ish to the Full Send reporter for the MMA reporter.
Oh, was he?
And because apparently, like the Full Send reporter gave a mascara, like a luchador mask, to one of the fighters who was like not Mexican. I think they were like Venezuelan, and he was like talking mad shit to him. Like, and I think that, I mean, he called out Barstool too. He called them basically like joke journalism.
yeah, he was on a rampage out there pre-fight talking about fighter pay. But you know, all in all, I feel like he left it all out there in the octagon for his final fight. He retired after the fight.
You think he's gonna be gone?
Yeah, I think he's done.
He's too young. Though.
Yeah, it was kind of like he was all emotional and like he literally left it all out there, dude. Like the whole fight, like it was just like a hell of a fight. I'm surprised he made it. And yeah, I was hoping he would have won because they were both exhausted, but I've never seen nobody that exhausted in the octagon before. It was insane.
Other combat sports this past weekend, newly crowned heavyweight champion over in the United Kingdom, London area. I forget the dude's first name, but Usyk knocked out Anthony Joshua, which I'm pretty sure we all thought that, you know, the Adonis AJ would be knocked out. He's an athlete, supreme athlete, but can't fight worth shit. So new champion, heavyweight fight next week will be Luis Ortiz versus what's the dude that knocked out? He knocked out Joshua too. It boggles my mind. Type in Luis
what's his
Ortiz.
name? Big boy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. If you type it in, just do it Luis Ortiz, and then it'll probably bring
Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz. Yeah. There you go. They're gonna fight next week as well. Let's get Wes back in the mix. He's ducking his head. Pretty sure he's bored out of his mind talking about combat sports. I'm gonna call you out, my guy.
I'm soaking it in, bro. I'm soaking it in.
Call you out, bro. Make sure you stay attentive.
No, I'm soaking it in, bro.
Hey, it's a big college football weekend this past weekend. Your quarterback for the Arkansas Razorback was profiled on ESPN. What are your expectations for the newly crowned QB1 at Arkansas? Is he going to be able to lead them into, I mean, what are we talking about? 10 wins for the Arkansas Razorback this year?
So they're going with Jefferson, right?
KJ Jefferson.
But the problem is, I mean, you're still in the SEC West.
Horrible, tough.
So you got A&M, you got Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But they should. Other than that, I think they should be favored to win the other games outside of A&M and Alabama.
Okay, all right.
I think they should be,
right?
You know, because they got a quarterback that did some damage last year that was really good, and they also got the backup Worthy, who is so fast that you have to put him on the field somewhere. So I'm sure they're going to find certain packages to get him on the field because I mean, I don't know if you've seen this dude run. He's scary fast. Like it's kind of like you know, he's one of those dudes. He can make just one stutter step, and if you miss it, he can take it to the house. He's that fast.
Yeah, man. No, I totally see. There's going to be a ton of speed. You kind of have to have that elite kind of speed to play in the SEC, much less the SEC West. And so I kind of just wanted to get your thoughts on it, just knowing that this week, you know, it is the kickoff weekend for college football. There's probably not going to be every single game, but the majority of the different conferences will be playing at that time. Do you see or do you feel right now that, let's see, I'm trying to see if there's a game that weekend for the Razorbacks, but it probably isn't going to be until the following week. Give me 1 second to pull that up real quick. Yeah, they don't kick off until September 3rd against, I mean, they're going to play Cincinnati week 1.
Yeah.
That's coming off. See, if Cincinnati's coming off that college football appearance. They did get handled by Alabama, but at the same time, Cincinnati's coming in ranked 23rd with Arkansas coming in ranked 19th. That's going to be, you know, if Arkansas pulls that out, they're going to maintain their established position in the top 20 of the college, or it's not the college football, but the AP top 25. It's in the back, James.
Well, this is a game they need to win to move forward.
Right, but I thought you were pretty firm with what you were talking about, how, you know, you were confident with Arkansas winning majority of the games outside of A&M and Alabama. Do you think this could be a contentious game?
That's the way I feel. If they're going forward, if they're improving on last year, those are the games they need to beat at Cincinnati.
Gotcha.
They need to beat Ole Miss. They need to beat those teams. And if you get a season where if your two losses are A&M and Alabama, because I definitely don't see them going undefeated. I see them at I see their best record, like I said, 2 losses. Their worst, I think, would be like 4 losses. Would be for Arkansas. Is the way if they lose anything more than that, then it's a bad year.
So you're thinking about 8 games, solid 8 wins.
Yeah,
maybe a 9th with the bowl game.
Yeah. There's no way that they should lose more than 4 games.
I like it.
But I feel that they should win. They probably will not. They will probably lose 2. That's what I feel. But then again, you never know what happens. You get unlucky. But they don't have to play the best teams in the East, so they don't play Georgia,
Florida,
and they don't play Florida.
Right.
So that kind of helps, because usually if you count in Georgia, then that would add on to another loss. So
you think they're gonna have an easy time against LSU?
I'm not gonna say they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna have an easy time anywhere.
Really?
You don't have it. You don't really have an easy time in the SEC unless you're playing like Vanderbilt or Arkansas 3 years ago.
Yeah, I can see that.
Terrible. Eric, I don't know what that Morris dude was doing, man, but he was, it was terrible.
I think they're going to have 3 real challenging games. Cincinnati, I think they're going to have a challenging game against BYU, and I think they're going to have a challenging game against Liberty. And those are like the non-conference games. I think those are going to be some tough games for them to kind of like battle with, but I mean, it's a gauntlet with the SEC and just their schedule right now. I mean, we're talking about they're playing Mississippi, top 25. They're going to be playing BYU, top 25. Outside of Alabama and A&M, that's a rough shot right there, just as lined up. But they got a couple of gimmies in the middle. They should be able to handle business at that time. But you got to win those non-conferences for sure. And I think that's going to be the biggest threat.
They got a tough schedule. They probably got I want to say top 5 toughest schedule in the nation.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So they got a tough schedule. But if you can keep those losses down, and they could possibly talked about in the playoff if they win those games. If you're winning those games, you can be talked about. I don't think they're going to make it to the playoffs. I definitely don't think they're going undefeated. But if they somebody kind of way they only get 1 loss in that schedule, then they would be in the Final Four. But
Okay.
I don't see that happening.
Let's move on real quick. Let's move on to a new topic real quick just to round it out. We got about 6 more minutes before we got to get into a break. Have y'all heard the news that dropped? Pretty much it dropped really on UFC 278 on the Gronkcast. But this has to do with Gruden. This has to do with Gruden, the Raiders, Gronk, and Tom Brady. Dana White basically spelled out that he had a deal done to get Gronk and Brady over to the Raiders in 2020. Remember what else is going on right there? The Miami's trying to get Brady and Sean Payton over to the Dolphins in 2019 and then in 2020. So you got a lot of movement, a lot of interest in Tom Brady when at that time, I don't know if y'all remember, but they were talking about the free agency for Tom Brady was limited. Only 2 teams came to the table with offers. I think it was Tampa and San Diego. But you kind of got to ask yourself this question. And, you know, I see the headline and I ask myself, okay, you had all this interest for Brady. And then we go in a few years later, Brady goes to Tampa, wins a ring. The year afterwards, Gruden gets exposed in the Washington corruption and I'm trying not to use too bad of words, into the nonsense and foolishness that Dan Snyder and his company were running with formerly the Raiders, now the Commanders. And Gruden's the one who gets removed from the Raiders. His brother was fired a year before in Washington. And so now that John Gruden gets implicated and removed from the Raiders as the head coach, 2 years before he signed a 10-year, $100 million deal for $100 million plus. And so now putting it together, Dana White was working with the Raiders. You had the owner in Miami trying to get Brady to Miami. John Gruden, after blows up the deal with Gronk and Brady to go to the Raiders, was removing John Gruden the linchpin for him blowing up the deal? That's kind of what I ask myself. To be real speculative, John Gruden blows up the deal, and did the NFL want Gronk and Brady in the Las Vegas to usher in the Las Vegas Raiders, to have all the hype?
I would something. They wanted something because it just seemed like that was a witch hunt for Gruden. I still don't understand how Gruden was just picked out of all the emails sent through all these people in the NFL, and Gruden's the only one saying something like that. There's no way.
And Dan Snyder has barely testified in front of a United States commission about the transgressions that were being committed with the Washington, formerly Redskins, now Commanders. And so you kind of ask yourself, what type of channels were being communicated on to have that type of, I don't want to call it corruption, but definitely tampering to get Gronk and get Brady to Las Vegas. And then one head coach ruins the deal. And why? And you got to ask yourself, why was Dana negotiating the deal? Like, where's the owner Davis, right? Maybe he didn't care. Maybe he was aloof. Maybe he felt Dana would have more credibility because Dana's from the New England area. Him and Brady are tight. That may have been a way to get, recruit Tom, and by way, Gronk at the same time to get them to Las Vegas. But is Gruden blowing up that deal the linchpin for him being isolated to be removed as the head coach? I'm not saying it is, but it sure could be speculated that he wanted to ruin this deal that pretty much probably cost the Raiders and the NFL millions of dollars. Because think about this. What if the Raiders go into Allegiant Stadium with Tom and Gronk? And remember, if he would have played nice, that'd been Antonio Brown, he was already with the Raiders. They would have easily had that team go in and win a championship potentially, because Tom wanted in Tampa.
Yeah, but you're talking about Tom going to the AFC, which is a tougher road.
But think about Right. You're exactly right. Who knocked out Tom in the playoffs in New England his last year?
Mahomes
In Kansas City. So why not bring in Brady and
So you're
Gronk?
going to see Mahomes 2 times that year.
And think about the money. That's what I'm talking about. And I
Maybe a
promise
third
you, you're probably going to see him a third time in the playoffs. And that's that's what I was talking about as far as the money aspect of it. You blow up, you inflate the AFC West. What happened now, Wes? This year, the AFC West was booming now.
From my inside source, I'm hearing that Mahomes' wife is the one that really had something to getting rid of Gruden and actually killing the deal with Tom Brady, because she wanted to clear up the road for Patrick. That's how much she loves her husband.
I bet she does. And on that point, we got to get into a quick break. We're going to probably expand a little bit on this more as the time goes on. But until then, give us about 6 minutes. We'll get into a break. And then at that time, who knows? Maybe we'll have a resurgence of Oakland Raider players later on in the show. We'll be back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time of the show where the one gotta go with Mr. Wes Washington. We'll bring him in. He may appear a little bit more vivid, lifelike, and just all around better in nature. Wes Washington, let's get it going, sir. We got 4 receivers, and one of them has to get out now.
I think this is a wide receiver edition. This is basically the top wide receivers, I think, in the NFL right now. You got, you got Devontae Adams, you got Cooper Kupp, you got Justin Jefferson, and you got Tyreek Hill. We're going to go ahead and ask James where he would like to go because we know he gets a lot of listening. So James, where would you like to go?
Thanks for the nice introduction.
Doesn't he look so much better, folks? And I don't mean James, I mean Wes.
Yeah, man.
James, you always look good. I mean, I just gotta say it. I ain't trying to boost your ego like that, but you know, I just want to let the fans know we tried to do our best to work with. Hey, listen, you want to know the reason Wes looks that good? It's because of James. Yes,
Thanks, James.
Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
Wes, didn't you say it was my turn?
Oh, look at the little Hercules cat. Hercules.
Justin Jefferson. Gotta go.
What?
Oh,
Come on, man. Playing for the Vikings. Come on, man. Get out of here.
Wes, you want a Tennessee jersey with Tannehill?
I mean, all right. Paul?
Wait. Who did you say got to go? I was over here looking at the comments.
James said that Jefferson's got to go.
Wow. Do I get... Is Tyreek with who? Is Tyreek with Pat or is Tyreek with Tua?
Well, in the thing, he's wearing the Chiefs jersey, but at the bottom it says Dolphins. So he's with Tua.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, look, I don't know what you drinking. Wes, I know what you're drinking. And if you get rid of the one receiver, Wes, who deserves and who is the number one, I'm gonna send you an ugly look. But listen, I'm sorry, folks. Unless Tyreek is gonna be catching slants every game, and the defense is gonna play straight man, which is stupid, Tyreek has to go. Tyreek ain't doing nothing but getting yak. And if teams are smart, you play zone, get big linebackers in front of him when he goes across the middle to throw it because Tua cannot do it. I'm sorry, Tua. Just Tyreek's got to go. But if Tyreek was with Pat, it's a different story. But that's not the situation.
Well, I respect that. For me, personally, I'm going to go because these are all great receivers. But
here we go.
Yeah,
who I'm going to go with is probably going to be Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
You know why I'm going with Tyreek Hill? Because of the way he acts off the field. That kind of blows it for me. All the other guys, I feel are better off the field. I just feel like Tyreek he's got some of that Antonio Brown type.
What does he do off the field?
Tyreek Hill?
What does he do?
Did you not remember what he did to his kid?
What did he do? I'm asking. I don't know.
Didn't he break his kid's arm? Like a toddler.
Can we fact check that?
I mean, I'm not saying that's for sure, but I believe that's what happened. And then, he just, man, sometimes I just question it. Like when they had the NFL fastest man, Tyreek didn't. He was there, but he kind of half-assed it because he didn't want to lose. He didn't want to take any chance of him losing. So I think he made it obvious that he messed up. I don't think if he runs, there's no way that Michael Parsons wins that. I have some problems with what he does.
I found I found numerous articles, domestic, having to deny abusing his children on more than one occasion.
Yeah, and now I'm talking about it was a toddler from what I understand. It was a small child. It broke his arm.
A 3-year-old, yeah.
Ugh.
But there were accusations and it was never proven. No, I mean, look, you gotta remember this, fellas. You gotta remember this.
We know.
What happens when you're the accused?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. But I'm just saying, dude, when there's one got to go thing, most of the time you have to pick out. You got to pick out something small.
But I figured you would pick out something.
Go.
I figured you would pick out something on the field.
Nah, dude, off the field stuff counts, man.
Bro, you sound like ESPN, bro. You sound like Skip Bayless. You sound like Skip Bayless, my dude.
Apparently, he's a closet Tennessee Titans fan.
You can't tell me that Tyreek doesn't have his ego issues. I mean, all receivers really kind of have an ego issue. I was gonna say, don't they all? But I think Tyreek has a bigger than most. I can see Tyreek doing, if he is not happy in Miami, if he is not getting those numbers that he got in Kansas City, I can see him having some kind of Antonio Brown moment. I'm not saying he's going to do exactly what he did, but I can see him getting issues, maybe like OBJ in New York, doing something weird and losing his mind. If Tua does not keep him happy,
losing his mind.
He lost his mind in New York.
No. I didn't say he lost his mind in New York. I said OBJ in New York when he was doing weird stuff.
What was he doing?
You don't remember OBJ and his relationship with the field goal catcher thing? The ball catch.
You mean the
thing?
net where he punched it and it punched him back?
The net. Yeah, the net, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, what happens? What's the difference between him doing that and Tom Brady slamming an iPad? What's the difference? Everybody wants to praise Tom. And I'm going to tell you right now.
Brady has how many rings?
Bro, I don't give a shit about rings. I thought this was just about behavior.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, bullshit. Because every time we bring up championships and it defeats your argument, you act like that shit don't matter.
What are you talking about? Win.
It's always. What you talking about? Win. Always, my guy. We talk about championships. You're like, oh, well, does that really matter? Yes, it matters and it matters now.
What are you're just making stuff up now.
Okay. That's fine. You're right. I made it up. James, the third party in this.
What's up, guys?
I'm asking you to referee. Is this true or not?
Yeah.
What's true?
Yeah. Every time championships are brought up, Wes tends to side towards it doesn't matter.
Against his argument, right?
Yeah.
They don't matter?
No.
Yeah, they don't matter.
Championships do matter.
Okay.
Thank
you. Yes, you're right, Wes. They do matter. Always and forever. Not just when it benefits your argument. You're a funny guy.
Man, y'all make these things up. I don't know y'all. I didn't even know where y'all get it from. But it's all good. But
that's like saying you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, right? This year you're an Eagles fan.
He's a Jalen Hurts fan.
He picks Jalen Hurts better quarterback than Dak. He picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win the division over Dallas Cowboys. All right, cool. You just a Philly fan, my guy. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let me hear you say it, Kevin Hart. Come on. Fly, Eagles, fly. Say it, Wes.
Dude, come on, stop your nonsense.
You're the one who said it.
I'm the one. Y'all dogged me on Carson Wentz, and I tell y'all, hey, Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Did you see him throw this weekend?
He has a ring.
Did you see him throw this weekend in the preseason? Because I did.
Hey, he has a ring.
He has a ring. Thank you to Nick Folk, who is a backup quarterback.
Who's
a backup quarterback in Indianapolis.
Carson Wentz got him there, dude. Stop, man.
Carson Wentz got them to the playoffs. To the playoffs. Exactly.
When you get to the playoffs, you have a chance to win a Super Bowl.
How come let me ask you this, Wes. How come there's a statue of Nick Folks instead of Lincoln Financial Field and not Carson Wentz? Thank you very much.
Answer this, Paul. Can you win a Super Bowl if you don't get to the playoffs?
No, without a doubt, no.
All right. Next question.
Jimmy Garoppolo's been in the playoffs every single year. Aaron Rodgers has been in the playoffs the last 4 years. What about them?
But I'm just saying, in the NFC East, Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in the NFC East.
right.
Come on, bro. You ain't believing what you talking about right now.
Who's better?
Okay. Who's the 44th best player voted on by the NFL? And I'm sorry, the players of the NFL. Who's the 44th best player in the NFL? According to the
Carson
players
Wentz.
in the NFL.
Carson
You
Wentz.
may want to go look again, sir.
Jalen Hurts.
You may want to go look again, sir.
Well, the players are idiots.
So now the players are idiots. Oh, okay.
They're idiots. I mean, they're
facts
they got
over
issues.
feelings.
And, but I think sometimes, you know what? I think sometimes because Dak is a nice guy, and like you root for Dak because of his background, and he's a nice guy, that you kind of give him some things, and people start to need to recognize Dak has trash time stats.
You need to recognize. You do, sir.
I recognize that Dak has trash time stats.
I don't think the players care. I think they only go by the ability of that player.
No, I want to see stats when the game counts. When you actually have a chance to win. Show me those stats, and then we'll talk.
Didn't you just say 2 weeks ago when I brought up stats for Dak Prescott and how they were better than everybody else in the NFC least, and you said stats don't matter? Then why do you want to know the stats now?
I want to know the stats of when the games actually matter, when it's a close game. I don't want to see the stats of when I'm down 30 in the fourth quarter and they just keep chunking it. Oh, and then what do you know? They get 17 points. And it's like, oh, it was a lot closer than you think. No, it wasn't. Because you know what? When it counts.
When it counts what?
They don't do it.
I think the last 2 years, isn't it fair to say the last 2 years, if Dallas was leading from the first series, they were front runners and they would run away with the game. I'm not saying they would score 10,000 points, but I'm saying they're front runners. And if they got out to a lead and they were able to hold the other team at bay, they were going to run away with the lead, run away with the victory. So we know what they are. So what does it matter if we talk about the stats or not talk about them? We know they're front runners. We know they're paper tigers. We know that unless they get a couple of turnovers, they're not going to probably win the game. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the quarterback, the most important role on the field, offense or defense, is going to be Dak Prescott in the NFC East. He is the best player as quarterbacks go in that division. And what's cynical about that is you can't reason with it, which I don't understand. You fail to reason with that because Carson Wentz was on the bench and got a Super Bowl ring. That's what you give. You give credence to a player who played on the bench, who was on the bench.
But he got him to the playoffs.
It doesn't matter. You have to win the playoff games. Ask Aaron Rodgers.
But he was hurt. For the playoffs. He would have won them if he was there.
Who?
Carson Wentz.
You definitively know that, pal.
Nobody definitively knows it, but
exactly. You know who did win? You know who did win those games? Nicholas Foles.
Yes, because he got the team there. All he had to do was basically be like, don't mess up.
Okay, tell me this. In the Super Bowl game, Tom Brady ran what the Philadelphia Eagles called the Philly special, the Philly. It's the throwback. It's a sweep to the quarterback. It's a sweep from the quarterback, goes around, runs a wheel route, receiver gets the ball, throws a touchdown. How come Tom did it early in that game, did not convert, but when the game was on the line to win the game, Nick Foles tells Frank Wright, who tells Doug Peterson, let's run Philly special, and they convert and they score a touchdown and they go ahead, eventually on to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, he caught a pass.
No, my friend.
caught a
He
pass.
recognized the formation that New England would be in, knew they were susceptible, called it to his OC. The OC told the HC. They said yes, and then they executed.
First of all, my sources tell me Carson Wentz is the one that recognized it.
Your sources.
Because Carson was in Nick's ear and said, "Hey, Nick, I think this is what we should run because this is what I would do in this situation." And
Bro,
he was like, "You know what,
Wes,
Carson? You're right.
Your
because
sources,
you done got us to the playoffs."
Your sources are garbage. Why? Because NFL films caught the exchange on the sideline where Nick Foles told the HC.
Yes, after you heard it from Carson.
Carson wasn't. If you're on the field as a quarterback and you go to the sideline, do you go to the bench to go sit next to the starting quarterback, or do you go to the HC who's on the sideline?
First of all, they had their special Bluetooth in where he was in his head. He was in his ear.
You know what's
he was
in your
like,
head
"Hey,
right
man,
now?
Come to the sideline. Hey, let's just run what Tom did. Because you know what? If I was out on the field, this is what I would do. And obviously I would, catch it. So like, hey, maybe you should do it. And if you catch it, dude, it should be an easy catch for you." And then Nick was like, "Hey, Carson, you right, bro. Let me go tell him."
Let me know when you release your science fiction book so I can come out and I can kind of like get a little bit more in depth and recognize like what planet you're coming from so I can understand the logic that you're applying. Because you got that cap on to just wound a little too tight. Maybe need to, unbuckle a couple of them clips in the back because that hat's looking a little too tight. Maybe cutting off some oxygen to your brain because you're just speaking nonsense right now. Just flat nonsense.
Oh man, you're so rude. But dude, maybe I'm gonna when I do my untold story. Have y'all watched the untold story of Matt Tatea? How horrible is that?
That's a weird one.
Yeah, I watch. I
was hoping to get into that and off the rails.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wes always jumping the gun.
You know what, James?
What's up?
You should jump the gun
Let's
and leave me alone.
All right.
I'm just saying, bro. Why you gotta come at me like that? I'm dealing with Paul. I'm dealing with you.
You're not even dealing with logic. You're not even dealing with reason. You feel attacked. Let me tell you why you feel attacked.
Sources.
You feel attacked because your sources are from Never Never Land.
And you know what? Hey, guys that are still my sources out there, don't listen to these guys. Y'all still my sources. Y'all still my dogs.
Those are your day ones?
Yeah, they my dogs.
They are dogs. You're right. They're literally canines. You're right. All right, guys. That's been enough of this nonsense here. Wes knows the truth. He believes what he believes, but he knows the truth. Give us a few minutes.
You need to apologize to my sources.
No, because you don't have any. Getting back into it, let's get into a quick break. Give us 5 minutes. We'll be back. Hey, shout out to Carla. Shout out to Frizzell Productions. Shout out to all. I really appreciate it. I don't know about Wes. He talks in some weird riddles, but I appreciate y'all showing up tonight. Give us 6 minutes, maybe give us 5 minutes. We'll get off the rails. We're gonna try to get out of here by 9:15. Stick around. More to come. Manti Te'o. Ooh, what a trip. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hop right into it. Let's get off the rails. We got about 15 minutes or so to get into that topic. Big time weekend. I don't know about y'all, but for me, we'll get into Manti's story here in a minute. But I don't know about y'all, but I watched House of Dragons yesterday. Premiered last night on HBO Max. If y'all haven't watched it, you need to watch it. If you don't know anything about Game of Thrones, you got a lot of homework to do because this is going to be interesting.
Tell me you haven't seen Game of Thrones, Wes.
You seen Game of Thrones, Wes?
Nah, not a big fan. It's not something I never got into Game of Thrones.
Yeah, same here.
So
No, y'all aren't big Game of Thrones guys? Okay. If y'all need to log in, let me know. Maybe.
I just I don't know, man. Something about the way they talk that I can't keep up. I don't understand what they're saying.
Okay.
So I get behind. I'm like, what do they say? What does that mean?
Just run it back.
And so then I just get just lose it.
You hit the settings and you put that on the SAP. I mean, not the SAP, but the closed caption. That helps out too sometimes. I have to turn that on to kind
Too
of.
much information for that 50-year-old brain.
Well, first of all, James, eat 2 dicks. Second of all,
God damn.
We are off the rails.
Language.
second of all, if I want to read, I might as well just go read a book. But I don't want to read it.
There are
the whole
books.
reason of watching TV is that you don't have to read.
All
So
They are books.
They are books. That's where they came from.
Except the final season, right?
Actually, this House of Dragons is like supposed to be the closest to the book because this apparently George R.R. Martin, the guy who wrote Game of Thrones, this book is supposed to be, or this House of Dragons is supposed to be like his most realistic adaptation of the book. So I don't know, who knows? But this is like 172 years before Game of Thrones. That's kind of where I'll leave it from there. Of course, you'll meet new characters, and of course, it's about the House of Dragon and the Targaryens. So, has some other colorful characters in there.
But I heard that Lord of the Rings or whatever they're hating on them and trying to ruin it for the House of Dragons. So when the Lord of the Rings has whatever, I think they have a series coming up or something on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
And I think they try to ruin it for the people or whatever and make them not be as interested and be waiting for the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Well, I watch grown-up stuff. Like I watch adult, content. I don't watch like little, children's Lord of the Rings. Like if it's not rated R, if there's not if it's not NC-17, I'm not watching it.
Did you just say I watch adult stuff?
Yeah. Have you seen if you watch Lord of the Rings and then you watch you watch Game of Thrones, you'll see there is totally 2 different demographics watching these programs.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I get that, but you're still talking about dragons.
I didn't say anything about fantasy. I talked about adult content.
I guess. To me, if you talk about dragons,
those disclaimers. They have like adult language, violent.
We get it. You're a pervert. We get it.
It's in the same world, pretty much, the same universe.
Not a pervert, sir. If I was, people would know.
We get it. You're a pervert.
Oh, you need to take that word back, sir. Nobody said any disparaging words to you or about you.
I'm just saying you're Deshaun Watson.
Oh, damn.
Coming from the guy whose nickname is Big Nasty, right? And I'm the bad guy here. Oh, okay.
All right. Hey, I did my time.
Look, bro, nobody's holding that against you.
I'm all good. I'm better now. I'm rehabilitated.
Yeah, I bet you sure are. Why don't you let Deshaun know so he can get well if you know how to get better?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
For what? Going to Cleveland is probably a good move because I'm gonna go Charles Barkley-ish and be like, man, the women in Cleveland not so good looking.
Man, easy with the women bit. Easy with the women bit. You already pissed them off as it is. We don't need you to.
There he goes.
Somebody break out Drake's owl. Get the owl out real quick.
No, ain't no women bad.
Apparently there was a
ain't
girlfriend.
no females mad at me.
No
I'm very
females.
nice to the ladies. I love all y'all.
Take that for what it's worth, ladies. Getting back to disgruntled girlfriends, Manti Te'o's Untold Story came out this past Tuesday, August 16th on Netflix. Interesting show, 2-part series. Lots of nonsense back and forth. I remember when this did go down a few years ago, especially whenever Notre Dame was going to get ransacked in the college football playoff by Alabama. Manti Te'o was, he was the dude, came in second at the Heisman Trophy. And then, of course, all this goes down. The tragic passing of his sister and his grandmother due to cancer. And then, of course, we have the catfish hoopla go through. Did you watch it, James?
I did watch it, and I saw it going around on social media, when a big thing comes out like that. And normally I'm reluctant to watch what everyone else is watching, but in this case I made an exception because it's football related, and I remember the story from back then when it came out, and I remember how I felt about it, and I remember all the memes, and I remember all of the stuff.
So how did you feel prior to watching it? What was your feeling when it came out? If you can remember.
Oh, back then?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, first of all.
Did you think he was a weirdo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did, you are Manti Te'o. How did you let this happen? Like, you're a big time athlete. Like, I know you have a brain. And it was one of the first, I guess, out there cases of catfishing. You know what I mean?
Nobody really knew what that was.
No.
We hadn't heard the term.
And it's like, dude, you're over here touting this girl as your girlfriend, but you've never met her. You've never had a video call with her.
And this was back in the day when instant messaging and relationships for some people started online.
Yeah.
That's kind of our generation. If you're a millennial, if you were born in the late 80s, mid 80s to early 90s, lots of relationships began on the online. But going back to hold on.
They would see each other though.
Wes,
through video.
We're building the story, bro.
I don't think.
And so going back to now that you've seen the show, what was your reaction to it?
Poor guy.
Yeah, right. Kind of like how it was. So eventually they did meet.
Who
met?
The real
when the investigation came out, when that person went on to Dr. Phil, whenever there was this whole transgression, Wes, what was your takeaway when you're in the middle of the docuseries and the 2-part series? What was the reaction to it for you?
First of all, the person that catfished him is an awful person.
For sure.
It was cringing watching him talk about when he was acting like the girl was dying, and Manti's calling and trying to be inspirational. If you ever lost somebody and you when they're on their deathbed and you talk to people like that, and for somebody to sit there and act like that, you gotta be sick. I don't understand how you. And he was saying, and then you look at Manti and you feel so sorry for the dude because he thinks this is a real person, and he's sitting there trying to help this person, and they're just messing with his head, dude. It's oh man, a couple of times that I wanted to turn it off, and also he's a lot better person than me because at the end he says, "I forgave that crazy piece of shit person." Sorry.
Yeah, but you kind of have to, if you want closure on a topic or a situation like this, you got to have that closure, because if you carry that angst and that anger and the frustration, you'll never have closure because you'll be dwelling on it. But I bet you it damaged him for a good part of his life, and it'll probably be something he never talks about or may not divulge due to the fact that he kind of wants to forget that troubling time, especially with everything that was circulating around the circumstances with, the passing. And of course there's got to be so much trauma, right? You got to think about how much of a mind screw job it is.
Yeah. That was the dirtiest thing that you could do to somebody besides maybe kill him. It was that, it was just so gut wrenching the way he was treated. Like when you're talking about, and he's trying to be a good guy, and that's the sad thing about it. He's a good guy. He was a good person, being a good person, but he was naive, and you're sitting there watching, and like, dude, wake up, wake up.
I think because he was so sheltered, like, do you lose a lot of that like naivete? Do you like not have the street smarts to recognize like when someone's bullshitting you?
I think it's because he was thinking because they had the same background that he could trust his people, and he wouldn't think that somebody of his people would do something that horrible to his people. So he was very trusting.
That's a good point. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. She put in overtime too, like trying to working the whole thing, like coming up with the family members and getting other people involved. Her little sister. Like all of that.
He met him as another person.
Yeah. Did I say she?
He literally met him as another person.
I mean,
he's catfishing the dude, and he showed up and met him.
Yeah, for folks who don't know, it was a male impersonating a female online.
And he had kids. He had kids involved in it. Or she transgender person. At that time it was a he.
Yeah, it was a dude.
At that time, but like had kids involved.
She even got his parents involved.
Teo's parents?
Yeah.
They basically talked to different people. He threw his voices. Like he went on Dr. Phil and he threw his voice and did the voice. So he did different voices. And like he sat there and he would breathe like he's on his deathbed and have.
Well, that we'll get Wes back. We had a little technical difficulty. Give us 2 minutes, James. Let's throw it to a break for 2 minutes, then we'll come back and get him back on the line. I need to quit being cheap and pay for Zoom Pro, or we should probably do another one, right?
Zoom will be fine.
You think Zoom will be fine?
Yeah. Now that we, kind of figured.
Now that you figured it out.
Yeah, we'll get them right back on.
They them.
Yeah.
Shout out Lucero. Appreciate y'all coming back. Let's get back into it. We got Wes Washington on the line. Wes, you were in the middle of your diatribe there with your soliloquy. I'll go ahead and let you expound on it, man. Go ahead and get back into it.
It was just horrible the way you just figure like somewhere this person would be like, no, I've went too far.
Right.
And it just kept going. And I was just so disgusted because when you're talking about, especially like I've lost people, that's why I'm wearing my Kentucky blue today for my boy Scott. But like when you're talking about you're sitting there and you talk to people on the deathbed. I lost my mom, I lost my boy, and I went and talked to these people, and like you're sitting there holding their hand as they're on their deathbed, and you see somebody playing with somebody like that, dude. Like,
it's gut wrenching, man. It's completely gut wrenching for for those parties involved.
Yeah, so he's a lot better person than me because he forgave him. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it, man, because I just lost people like that, dude, and
Well, because Teo was the victim in all this, and for the instance of moving on for his own life, you got to be able to put the past in the past, and if you never get over it and you never verbally say that you forgive that person for the trauma that he was put through, Teo will never be able to get through it, and it takes a lot of maturity. It like takes even time for him to forgive him, but you got to remember, I don't know what the timeline was for Manti to give that forgiveness, but I bet there was a lot of prayer. I bet there was a lot of consulting with family and friends, and that'll never happen to him again. I know he's married now and has a family, that being Manti Te'o, but he did leave a message of gratefulness for the fans who kind of reached out on social media. I think he dropped a little Instagram video this past Saturday to show the appreciation for all the fans who kind of sent their heartfelt feelings towards him because of the complete and utter trauma that he had to experience.
Yeah, I felt bad because when it happened back then, I made jokes about it.
Dude, I
remember sending pictures to my friends, doing the Teo, where it's like, oh, hey, I'm at the Waffle House with my girl and doing those type of videos. My friends, we sent them back and forth, and I felt bad, and I just my heart just went out for him so hard, dude. I can't believe he could do that to another person.
I mean, Wes, I thought he was a sucker. Like, I mean, I really thought he was just like a fool and like a mark. It's like, dude, how could you be that naive to get got like that, right? And so, but I think for him, it's just him being a sheltered individual, and it's nothing against him. He just let his guard down, and he got caught, and hopefully it has helped him. That event has helped him in other parts of his life that, he could be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more, insightful so that he doesn't get taken advantage again. But yeah, what a horrible
he's sitting
story.
on those national TV shows with his parents, just feeling terrible. Like, I know how much you love your parents. Can you imagine being in that situation where you're sitting there having to be embarrassed in front of the world with your parents because you trusted somebody, and just the ridiculousness of it?
Well, that's the craziness about it, is that person implicated his parents, manipulated his parents into believing it was a real deal. Like, I was going to answer your question, and I would be like, I would never put myself in that position. But then I thought about it, and I was like, well, that person who catfished Manti not only implicated but manipulated the family, the parents of Manti, into the faux relationship that was trying to be carried out. But it was something like this will never happen again. There's too much. It's one of those things where not a lot of new things come across the American public, but this one will never happen again. There's going to be dudes who'll be like, especially dudes with NIL money now, especially in college, like, oh, I'm going to fly you to the campus and I'm going to meet you face to face. Or dudes ain't going to mess with, I say dudes, I mean people. Ain't nobody going to mess with someone online unless they can be like, look, let me FaceTime with you because I need to see who you are right now. Don't put up no filters, no makeup. Just get out the shower. Let me see you, because unless... you can't even trust Instagram now with some of these. I've seen some of these like cosmetic videos that go up, and you see one person and then you see the transition. I'm like, I don't know. That's weird to me.
I mean, even still, like with that, what you were saying, like the way I guess people do it, it's like, hey, do this, write your name on a picture, throw up this sign, or put two fingers, or touch your nose, or do something. Yeah, I was like,
I didn't get the picture.
I was watching it, and then they were like, I was like, oh, okay, this is where he's gonna find out. And then he's like, and then the picture's there, and they show it, and I was like, bro, what? What?
How did they get the picture?
That chick sent it. She got the real chick that she was ripping off her pictures to send her that picture that he wanted, and she sent it. Like,
Well, the next thing we need to worry about is like deep fakes. Have you heard about this like deep fake technology, where basically people can put a face on a body and it's like your face?
Yeah, can't even tell the difference.
Can't tell the difference. Yeah, there's a YouTube channel out there with a guy who he does like parodies and stuff about it. It's nuts.
I mean, and if I'm gonna call you my girlfriend, I'm just gonna be honest.
Oh, here you gonna piss
You're
him
not
off
gonna be my
again.
girlfriend
You gonna
until
piss
we
him off
do
again.
until we do something physical.
See, you gonna piss him off again.
I'm just saying.
And he's the nice guy.
No way. Come on.
And he's the nice guy.
That's not making anybody angry. That is a good thing.
Worse
I just
than-
did something physical.
Worse
We
than
just
Andrew
gotta
Tate over here.
Hold hands.
What do you
Please hold hands.
What are you, Dan Bilzerian?
What?
I don't think he knows who I'm talking about.
Black Andrew Tate.
Well, Andrew Tate is half black.
Oh, okay.
Come on, bro.
Man, I'm just saying. We at least gotta hold hands.
You got to hold hands, you say.
At least before I can say, "Oh, you're my girlfriend."
Bro,
If I never held your hand, I can't.
Bro, your boy in the comments is roasting you right now. You got to figure it out. I already gave him a shout out before we went to break, the real break last time.
You want to answer that question? Any
No. Wait, which one?
Any shot y'all would have gave Teo the Heisman over Johnny Football?
Ooh, maybe we'll save that one.
That's another thing that hurts.
question.
Like you lost to Johnny Football. Oof. What a waste of time that guy was.
Damn.
Well, what they were saying too was, you know, the story surrounding the whole thing as it being like inspirational that he lost his girlfriend and his what was it, mom or sister?
It was his
his
sister and
sister's
his
mom was in the
grandmother.
thing. Yeah, his and you know, in the same day, and that kind of built on the story and all of that stuff. And you know what they were saying, like he shouldn't have even been. Some people were saying he shouldn't even been in the Heisman, you know, talk. If it wouldn't have been for that story, you know, of everything being so inspirational and him pushing through, continuing to fight, you know, even going through all of that stuff that he was going through in his personal life. But
No,
who knows?
he lost his grandma and the supposed girlfriend on the same day.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Because that was another messed up part about it that I couldn't believe that this person did. He's like finds out that he just lost his grandma, and this lunatic decides, hey, you know what? I'm gonna kill this as his girlfriend today too, to add on. It's like
Tragic story, mostly tragic for Manti, but you know, you live, you learn, and then you get Geico. Hashtag no ad. But let's get into, before we get out of here, we got 2 minutes before we get off the air. We went over about 5 minutes. Let's break out last week's picks, and then we'll get Wes's facial reaction. I want to see what he thinks he won. I don't know. Maybe I'm the loser on this one.
Okay. So we did 3 preseason games of our choice, 1 each, and then we guessed the winner of the first quarter. Okay.
Right.
Since it's preseason, you know, before we start our official NFL 2022-2023.
I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna
pick'ems.
put you in charge of getting that graphic from the Wizard.
Okay.
So let's go. Let's run it down.
All right. First game is Packers Saints,
Okay,
and of course I'm the only one to pick the Saints. What
that's
do you
right.
know?
So me and Wes 0-1. You're 1-0.
Okay. The next one is the Eagles and the Browns. Paul picked the Eagles. Me and Wes picked the Browns.
And the winner of the first quarter was the Eagles. Oh, it tied 7-7. So it's a push. So we keep the records.
Okay. The next one, Bucks Titans. I picked the Bucks. You and Wes picked the Titans.
And it was a push. Titans scored the first points though,
Okay.
but it wasn't until the second quarter.
So technically, I won.
So technically, James won 1-0-2.
Just a sign of things to come for the
technically
season.
my ass. Y'all making things up.
Dude, it's a push. A push is a push. Nobody's.
Technically he ain't won.
He did win because we have 0 wins. We don't have a win at all.
What?
He's 1-0-1. We're 0-1-1. Both of us, B and you.
Yeah, that's a push.
No, sir.
It's all right.
Who's this guy in the chat?
He's so sore, bro. He's so damn sore if he doesn't win.
I am.
It's just preseason. Hey, what were you saying earlier? Who cares about preseason? Just chill, man.
It's all
chill.
about the championships.
I don't like to lose.
It's all about the championships.
Hey, I like that. I like
I'm
that.
a sore loser.
I like
All
that.
Shows what kind of person you
No
are.
doubt I'm a sore loser.
Hey, who's this guy in the chat? He's over here calling me cute.
Shows how good of a sport you are.
I'm not. I'm a poor sportsman. I have the worst.
Who's on the right? You.
That's what I said.
I don't know. Hey, your boy. Hey, Wes, your boy in the comments he's wilding. You can't see the comments.
When I played junior college ball, I wrote a story about my bad sportsmanship.
You can write.
You were on my team and we lost, and you gave good sportsmanship. Kiss my ass. Get off my team.
Hey, shout out to the Bears. Justin Fields looked good. I gotta say this. He just needs an offensive line. Yeah, and they need to get Roquan's deal done. But
All right, right now, who has a better season, Fields or Trey Lance?
Trey motherfucking Lance.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. He looked good this past weekend on the field. Yeah, he looked good. He's got a line. He's got a defense. He's got 4 good receivers. He's got 3 good running backs. But yeah,
it's crazy. But this dude hasn't played any football.
he ain't played football literally in like 2 years. Literally,
Like
he played one game.
I mean,
he played one game against Central Arkansas his senior year. One.
that's crazy. That's crazy to
I don't
me.
know about all these teddy bears in the chat.
Hey man, don't get all butthurt.
Yeah, the Bears are going down. That's right. Bears
Bear-
are going down.
Bear down.
That's
We
right.
got a-
At least
we
he
got
knows
a
what's
Bears
coming this
fan in
season.
Carla talking smack. And I'm guessing we got a Titans fan in the.
Oh,
the
okay.
mix.
Carlo, little news. She's saying negotiations between the GM and Roquan are who are close to being done. I don't know who RS is, but Carla, maybe you can leave who RS is. I don't know. Another Packers fan in the chat, Lucero, shout out. Go Pack, go.
Yeah.
Bear down. Okay, yeah, Wes, bear down. She put another word after that.
Hey, go Bears for the Bears for Carla.
Sellout, dude. You know what I haven't heard this preseason? Go Cowboys from this guy. He's over
He's
here
a hater,
just
bro.
slamming
This
Dak.
is what he's gonna do. He's gonna hate. He's gonna hate, and then when they win, he's gonna be like, "I knew it all along.
Yeah.
They did so great."
While eating that gummy bear.
You better hope, son. You better hope to God they don't make it. You better hope to God because you're gonna be eating that in the NFC Championship
Dude,
game.
I'm not eating that. That's why. Why do you think I made the bet? It's a safe bet.
You better hope. You better hope not.
It's a safe bet.
Safe.
It's so safe.
She said Roquan Smith.
Okay, per Roquan. Okay, word. All right, I'm gonna look at that up. Monday Night Football going down right now. What is it? What's the score? We got Falcons 16, Jets. Hey man, the MILF Hunter, bro. What's up with him? MILF Hunter needs to get his shit together.
Had surgery,
Oh,
dude.
Zach Wilson? No, dude, you talking about now? That's Flacco's team now.
What about
Probably.
Michael Thomas? He ain't
He
having.
apparently injured his ankle after being off 2 years. Rusty the Snowman. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez, sucks for that guy.
Anything before we get out of here?
Oh, she was saying he tweeted negotiations are done. He was at practice today.
Oh, okay. I was asleep all day. Not really.
Dude.
When you're busy watching huddles, it's a little difficult.
Pay attention to the Bears.
The Bears. Wes, before we get out of here, what do you want to tell the people? Put it on
Just
3
huh?
I'm just talking to James.
Oh, no, just want to say, I want to say, wish a happy birthday to my boy Scott that moved on, man. I wanted
R.I.P.
to wearing this. Everybody, if you know me, this is a tough thing to do. I only would do it for this person. So, happy birthday, Scott, man, and out to the prayers for the Cunningham family as they deal with that. So,
James.
Well, I just want to tell people, man, make sure you support your people. Make sure you support your small time shows like us. You know, throw a like, comment, like these fine people have been that show up week in and week out and support us. And yeah, man, just support your friends. Throw a like. It goes a long way, you know.
It really does make it long, and I really appreciate it. I know the fellas do too. We're trying to improve the show. We got new equipment coming in. We have, James improving on his skills with running the engineering. But one thing that I wanted to say was we appreciate y'all time in, time out. Nothing but love. We're at 80 subscribers. We've grown organically. And I'm grateful for all of y'all who have tuned in, liked, and subscribed. And like I always tell y'all, love yourself, love your neighbor. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all mañana.